Have you ever had one of those days where you meant to crush it? You had your meal plan ready, your training schedule all mapped out, and your calendar full of good intentions. But somehow, you skipped the workout, grabbed the takeout, and ended up curled up on the couch feeling stuck? Not lazy, not careless, just depleted. We've all been there. And my crazy, chaotic life sometimes pushes me there. So here's the real question. Why don't we do what we know is best for us, especially when it comes to our health? Welcome to episode 12 of Making Mal Health in the Hustle. This podcast is a place where motherhood meets muscle, ambition meets exhaustion, and figuring out how to prioritize my health journey into the insanely beautiful chaos of a busy life is what I talk about. Some days it's going to look messy, and other days completely flawless. But no matter what kind of day I'm having, I can assure you I will tell the truth and do my best to give you some good ideas and insight to help you prioritize your own journey. So let's get into why we don't do what we know is best for us. And it's not because of willpower. It's about wiring. It's about being overwhelmed in the world we're navigating. So why do we stall? Well, first of all, our brain really loves the quick wins. Healthy habits like clean eating or working out don't always feel good right away. We want to chase the dopamine hit we get from scrolling or snacking instead. Drinking water may hydrate our bodies and keep us healthy, but it might not be as satisfying as an ice-cold Coca-Cola on a summer day. Another thing is we fear success or failure. You know, I've had several friends who've lost the weight and gained it all back, and I imagine that would be really scary. And someone might not want to do all the healthy things if they think they're just going to end up gaining it back. Or for those who fear what being healthy looks like, that fear can undermine your efforts. Fear is one of those things that can keep us frozen. And I've heard that the letters in fear can stand for false evidence appearing real. We can't let fear control doing what's best for us. Another reason we don't do the healthy things we should is because we try to do too much too fast. When you feel a need to do everything at once, and that perfectionism is whispering in your ear, change everything now, it leads to burnout, not breakthroughs. It just isn't realistic to make all the changes at one time. Remember, it's a journey, not a magic wand. For some of us, life can get in the way. Limited time or access or support, or maybe more responsibility at work than you anticipated, that can get real. Even the best intentions can get derailed by a sick child or a long shift or even too much schoolwork in a week. It leads to exhaustion. It is exceptionally difficult to keep a strong, busy, health-focused pace. So, what do we do when the healthy gets hard? Well, the first thing is, self-compassion really fuels consistency. Instead of chasing the shoulds, let's ask some better questions. You know, Coach Valerie always says, don't should all over yourself. And that's really great advice. Instead of saying, I should work out, maybe we ask ourselves, what does my body need today? A walk? Maybe a few minutes on the elliptical or 15 minutes of hula hooping? How about this one? 135 pounds on the deadlift bar for 5 sets of 7 reps? Sounds like a great time to me. There's also room for snacktivities. Those are the 5 to 10 minute bursts of activity that you can get in. They're like the little snacks of the activity world. And those tiny shifts can build big momentum. Maybe it's not movement that you need at all. Maybe it's rest. And self-compassion sometimes requires some hard boundaries. You know, my school, work, mom schedule can really get crazy at times. And You know which healthy habit is the hardest for me right now? Sleep. When it comes to getting everything done over the last week, my sleep has been the greatest struggle. And that's been pretty consistent since I started my PhD. There are days when I really feel it. This week has been particularly excruciating. With all the changes at work and starting the new class that I'm easing into, I have been stressed out, I'm tired, I have not found any time to work out this week so far, and my brain is running 24/7. I had to get really tough with myself again this week on my sleep habit. I have a cutoff time, but I was blowing it off to get stuff done, and I ended up with an extremely bad headache this week as a result. So, I reset the alarm on my phone that I had turned off. It's to remind me of my cutoff time for the day, and it's 9:30, and that's it. No matter what I'm in the middle of, I stop immediately, shut the computer, put the books away, turn off the phone, because my body needs rest, and I can't function without it. Visual cues are another area that helps us support habits. Lay out your workout clothes the night before. Put your vitamins next to your coffee mug. Make the healthy choice the easy choice, because humans do what's easy for us. If you have difficulty drinking water, set 4 bottles of water on the counter each morning, or if you prefer them cold, put them in the fridge. You're much more likely to drink that water if you have to see it in your line of sight all day or every single time you open the refrigerator. You've made drinking the water easy. You know, when I started lifting again after my last injury, I didn't wait for motivation to kick in. I made it automatic. I had my gym bag packed, my workout clothes and shoes laid out. My workout was planned. I had a pre-workout meal ready to go with my gym snacks, and an after meal was even prepped. And I celebrated the fact that I showed up for myself again. Because when you have a break in the lifting world, it's really hard to come back. But my prep and my mindset changed everything, and it helped me create motivation and momentum. Never, ever underestimate the power of celebration. And I'm not just talking about the outcomes or reaching your goals. I'm talking about the small stuff. Maybe you worked out twice this week, or you packed a lunch for work every day instead of hitting the drive-thru. Maybe you took yourself on a solo date. That deserves recognition. You know, Coach Kelly is a huge supporter of the celebration. Big or small, she is always more than willing to give a big shout out for all the victories. You should really check her out on Weight Watchers. She's a super dynamic and personable coach. I really enjoy her. How about planning for your reentry? Like if you go on a trip or a cruise, have a reentry plan. Maybe you put in a pickup order at the grocery store and swing by and get it on your way home. Or plan your meals for the week you return before you go on vacation. Plan extra activity when you're on your trip. Or, I seldom worry about overindulgence because I live my life in a 90-10 mentality. And when you do that, you don't have to worry about the indulgences that you had on a trip. 90-10 is where you do the most healthy things 90% of the time for yourself. And then the 10% of the time doesn't even matter. And 10% of the year is 35 days. That means 35 days sprinkled throughout the year don't even count on your health journey. You don't have to worry about them, and you don't have to start over. You just have to continue. Remember, working on your health is always a work in progress. Finally, make it social. This is especially important when you're struggling to get activity. Invite a friend to join you on a walk. Or if your friend lives far away, plan a time when you both work out at the same time. Share your goal in a group chat. When you turn your solo habits into shared moments, I'm going to bet that even if you're not willing to do those things for yourself, when you know a friend is depending and waiting to hear about what you did, it's going to create the new resolve to do it. Accountability can be exceptionally powerful. Take a minute today and think about what that one healthy action is that maybe you're struggling with to make a habit. Figure out why it's such an obstacle, and maybe one of the tools I spoke about today can help you turn it around. You know, the experts say it takes anywhere from 18 to 254 days to form a habit, depending on the person. That's a really wide range, and it's different for everyone. But it means that every day that you follow through, progress is possible, and habits are being built. And support, it matters. Whether it's a coach or a friend, or even this podcast community, accountability can help the best health habits stick. And in the tradition of being accountable, I'm going to offer this. I have been allowing my busy schedule to be a barrier to building a new habit. I joined this new bougie gym back in July, and it just opened up the last week of September while I was recovering from the long COVID attack on my body. And here we are, the end of October, and I still haven't made it to the new gym. So, here's my accountability to all of you. In the next 7 days, I am going to go to the new gym and spend at least 30 full minutes there doing something, no matter what it is. Hopefully it's lifting. We don't have to do it all, but we have to make room in our crazy busy life for the priorities. And maybe, if your friends are expecting you to follow through, that will help you make it happen. So, midweek, we're going to follow up on this topic and discuss the myth of motivation. Until then, onward and upward, my friends.